Nigerians have. And I think this is a legitimate concern because we are all Nigerians, is that there has been no corresponding, there's been no correspondence between how much has been spent on the sector so far and how much service delivery we are seeing in that sector. This is a legitimate concern. And I think that if the PDP administration, for instance, wants to perpetuate itself in government by going for a second term, it's only by logical extension that people will say, please, why don't you give account of your stewardship on a sector-by-sector basis? So that people will have a better assessment of whether you need a second chance in order to deepen whatever transformation agenda. The government has a transformation agenda, and I think this is the right time to judge on a sector-by-sector basis in education, in power, in critical infrastructure, in tourism, and how the economy has been diversified or is being diversified over the past 6 years. I think that some measure of progress has been recorded, for instance, in agriculture. I know that it will take some time for some of these efforts to begin to materialize at the level of cost, how much people are buying stuff in the market and all that. But it is up to Nigerians, I think, to decide whether the administration needs a second term or not. But I think that more and more, above every other consideration, there should be emphasis on service delivery, which is the purpose of governance itself. So I wanted to respond to what.
Sorry, one second. Let him finish.
Respond to it would be fair to us to respond to the caller.
No, he will. No, just a minute. Just a minute. Let him finish what he was saying. Very quickly.
I wanted to quickly respond to a point Okechukwu made concerning anti-corruption and how they want to, turn things around if they have a chance to occupy the central government. I want to know how the APC, for instance, will bring about change in terms of fighting corruption, because, Buhari, for instance, has made it very clear that he's not a rich man. He made it very clear that he obtained his nomination form through a bank loan that he obtained from his banker. Is that correct?
It is.
Yes. Now, if you want to launch a presidential campaign in the 36 states of a federation such as ours, you need extensive financial resources. I think it will be interesting for us to have a greater transparency in terms of how he intends to conduct the campaign. There are people who are supporting him now, who are presently supporting him financially, who, to put it delicately, have a cloud of suspicion concerning their integrity. For instance, I am from Rivers State. I know that the governor who has just been made the Director General of Buhari's campaign, Governor Amechi, for instance, as I sit here, has not paid salaries for workers. He has not paid November salaries to workers in Rivers State, as I sit here. For 8 years, for 8 months, the salaries for 13,000 teachers have not been paid.
For 8 months in Rivers State?
For 8 months. The salaries for 13,000 teachers.
Are you absolutely sounding it? Because
these are things you can confirm immediately after the program, or anybody can call in from Rivers State to confirm. 13,000 teachers have not been paid their salaries for 8 months. This is a governor who now is the DG of the campaign for Buhari's presidency. So I think
what is the relationship between that and the issue you're raising?
I think that this, for a party that is running on a ticket of change, we need to have a window knowledge of what is to come. How do you talk about change when even those who are the agents of change do not seem to have transformed the states where they have manifest administrative authority to make changes?
You cannot imply that
no, what I'm saying,
PDP and APC have praised consistently.
No, what I'm saying is that I suspect that Nigerians will be interested in not just the slogans of each of these parties. I'm not interested in these parties, frankly. I'm more interested in how service will be delivered and how the country will be a better place. Yeah. And I think that the only way you can do that is to question, beyond the slogan, question exactly what each of these parties can do for the Nigerian people.
Okay. So sorry, gentlemen. Hold on, Cash. I just wanted to make it clear that the relationship between the issue that you raised and so on, that he begs for some
No, I will
questions.
address that
But
one.
he
I will
will
address
respond
that.
to it. I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
But
Well,
also, Ken,
yes.
make your point very quickly.
I'll make my point very quickly. I like the position he has come from, because he has tried to balance the position. But looking at what the caller said, because that's what I'm a bit bothered about, we saw the Minister of Power when he gave his ministerial briefing. We must be very honest here. We know that 4,800 megawatts is being transmitted as of now. Yes, 4,800 megawatts. I'll tell you something. There are bottlenecks, the discos. I'm a commissioner in an oil producing area. I have installed transformers, and when I want to get these transformers commissioned, not because they cannot transfer power to this, from Benin Disco, for example, which serves us in Delta, they will tell me that because of bills that have been owed in the past. Are you hearing? Bills that have been owed in the past, that is why they will not allow me commission this transformer. And then we will now go back to put our heads together, because when we are actually giving out these contracts, we don't take into consideration these bills. So as a commission, we'll now have to take into consideration that, okay, we will start using our, what you call contingency. You know, in every contract you give out their contingency funds. Because we are an interventionist agency, we have to quickly make these transformers work. And by the time we now have to maybe make use of those funds to pay for these bills that we should really not have paid, but the whole community is owing, that is a bottleneck. And not because the power is not being transmitted. You need to go into the sector to know exactly what is happening. And not all sitting down here to say Jonathan has committed billions of dollars. I stand to be corrected. He has said it is not Uhuru. He has said it over and over again, and that is why he did not give himself a timeline on the issue of power sector.
But I think you're right.
He has said it. Let's be fair on Jonathan.
So I think you're right.
Sorry, hold on.
But you know, I wanted to, you know, the kind of explanation you're giving is meaningful within the context of the technicalities involved in the industry. But what I suspect the end user is interested in is service delivery. Yes. So I think that the impatience of Nigerians in terms of how much service they get is understandable. The kind of technicalities you're providing are things you would expect from an insider, and I appreciate that. But you see, in the final analysis, what Nigerians want to see is power supply. For instance, we talked about how you want to diversify the economy. It doesn't seem to me that 4,500 megawatts is sufficient power supply. Yes, whatever it is, that is far less than what is consumed in Johannesburg alone. I lived in South Africa for over 12 years. And if you say you have the largest economy in Africa, you need a corresponding quantum of power supply in order to drive the real sector, the manufacturing sector.
You
the point,
agree that
yes,
with the diversification to the discos,
yes,
the process has started.
Yes.
Let's agree on that. We know it is not Uhuru. I will not come here and deceive you. That
yes,
you
but you see, what
right.
we are
the process has started.
Yes, you're absolutely
for example,
right.
look at Kayo, or is it Fine that called him?
Yes.
The man in Umutu, I'll use it as an example, has not had light for 5 months. Does not know what I am facing to make sure he has light. He doesn't know that it's the bills he has been owing around his community that is making him not have light, and not because of Jonathan. I have provided the transformer. I have provided the transformer, and the disco, and the Benin Disco says, no, we cannot allow transmission to go on here because these people are owing. He has nothing to do with my governor.
I think it is also important for us to know that where were we before President Jonathan came in? We were less than 2,000, about 1,000.
Sorry, that will not be true.
No, it is also relevant.
It is very relevant now.
It is also relevant because some of these things that we're saying, some of these things we're saying,
you can't divert.
For some of these things we're saying, we must put in proper context. President Jonathan is facing serious opposition of insurgency and the rest, bombing of gas pipelines and all the rest, because I want to talk specifically on this power thing now. But yet, he is not saying that we have enough, but we are moving, and we know we are moving, and the industries can confirm that to you, and that is why you have increase in the number of industries now. But let us also look at this angle. Since when has this sector been deregulated? Go to Akwa Ibom. There is a state-generated power system for the people. Go to Cross River. You understand? I understand maybe Niger also has. But let me tell you, and you are always quick to use Lagos as a model. But the best that we could have had under Lagos was during the Enron. And this present same Mr. Osinbajo was the Attorney General when they went, and then they spent a lot of Lagos money on Enron, only for Enron to liquidate 2 months after. And nobody is asking, where is that money?
Sorry, that you will not be stating that kind of thing because that particular issue of Aaron cannot be traced to just Lagos. The federal government has been involved, and there are a number of issues.
The federal government did not participate in negotiating the contract. Due diligence was deliberately neglected in the contract.
Stop that, because the issue of Aaron goes beyond just Lagos. It's not just a Lagos affair. So you will not use that as part of conversation.
Okay,
and that is not what we're discussing. We've got to wrap up.
On the issue of security.
Sorry, we will pick what we discussed.
Okay. And then it is also important for us to say that Gani is just saying all these things. He knows himself that it's not going to be easy for him.
Could you please stop so that we can just wrap? We need to wrap up now. Your final word.
Well, what I think is that, politics worldwide is always a quarrelsome affair. So I'm not totally surprised that people speak with passion, and that's a good thing. But what I think I need to repeat is that at the end of the day, these parties will not be judged according to the passion of their speakers and the slogans that they bandy around. What I think Nigerians are looking for, because we are all Nigerians and we want a better country, what I think Nigerians are looking for is whether there will be good service delivery on a sector-by-sector basis. And I think that if, as Okechukwu has said, the APC is very manifestly different from the PDP, they need to do more. Buhari is very strong on anti-corruption rhetoric, but I think he needs to discuss the wider policy issues in order to make sure that the distance between the APC and the PDP becomes so clear that people can make choices wisely.
Okay, on that note, we will not have any more time to take any more words. We want to thank you very much, Dr. Austin Tam George, Executive Director, Institute of Communication and Corporate Studies. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks to you as well as Sita Okechukwu, party chieftain of the APC. Thank you.
Member.
Member. You don't want to be a chieftain.
You're a chieftain, you're all right.
Okay. Thanks to Taufik Gani, who is Publicity Secretary, PDP in Lagos, and also to Ken Okolubo. Yes, my brother. We are
I was a regular face at the time.
You're my brother and my friend, so that's fine. Thank you very much.